And to the black community specifically, like, are we perfect? Cause we must be perfect because nobody can tell black people anything. If I get up here and I preach to the black community, it's, oh, you hate black women, or you a Uncle Tom, you a Sambo, you supporting whites. Like, nah, bro. If someone's saying something to shine light on an issue in the community that can probably improve the community, what's the problem? If Dr. Umar said, and y'all know y'all love Dr. Umar, I don't know why. You know, he does say some legit stuff, but I give you that. If Dr. Umar, you know, shines light on an issue in the black community, y'all got a problem with him. White people can't do it. Black people can't do it. Who can do it? If a black woman do it, y'all call her a pygmy. Who can do it, bruh? So, I mean, y'all mad at Charlie Kirk, and he did say some wild thing. He did spew some wild stuff about the black community. We ain't gonna sit here and debate that. That's not a debate. But I think his intent was, you know, just to speak the truth. That's all, you know. And the truth doesn't always feel good. Like, for instance, when he brings up the black on black crime, you know, people don't realize, like, yeah, we do unalive each other more than any other race unalives us. It's a fact. Is it comfortable to hear? No. But y'all hear him say it. Now y'all talking about he hate black people. It's a fact. It don't matter who say it. It's a fact, bruh. So the black community specifically, we just too sensitive, man. And because you don't like what someone said, you get online and start celebrating their assassination. At the end of the day, we all Americans. We all human. You're sick and you're evil. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. I never thought I would see something like this in my life, man. And it's sad, bro. Y'all do y'all thing, though.
Question is, and it's not just for black people. I had formed a question for anybody, whether you're liberal or whatever. Why is it so difficult for people to accept the truth or for you to be able to hold them accountable? Anybody can answer.
Because the truth contradicts the lies people choose to believe. And especially when you believe in abundance of lies, if you start to accept the truth, you will start to question your own self. You'll start to question, am I stupid? Can I trust my own self? Can I trust my own thoughts? People are not ready to hold themselves accountable and look in the mirror and say, I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Right.
What I do notice about the black community specifically, black women, I'm gonna get some flack for this. They don't like to be the last person in the room to know something, even about themselves. So if they didn't know first and you did, they'll reject it. As if it's not, well, if I didn't know it first, then it can't be true. That's what I've seen. That's what
What do you mean? What do you mean by they don't want to know certain things about themselves? What do you mean by that?
that I'm gullible, that I don't know how to critically think. I don't know how to think for myself. I don't know what to care about. Therefore, I don't know how to decipher between a lie, a falsehood, and a fact. I can't trust to be an informative person. I can only just be the person people are waiting to spoon feed information. They can't trust themselves to validate things or not. And I think that's why they don't like the hard truths, because it's like, well, why do you know this about my own self and I don't? That's a hard pill to swallow. That everybody can see your problem except you. That's what I think. That's what I see.
I think it like you said, it holds up a mirror. And when you can't blame, like, you can't say, oh, it's because of the white man or it's because of this or that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, now you got to look within. It's like, damn, why am I still in this same position then if it's not anything outside of myself? And I think that's the biggest reason.
Mm-hmm. Smell your ass. It stank. Clean it up. And then you don't have to worry about somebody else telling you that, you should stink. Everybody should stink, but don't act like, yours don't. So
We didn't had our great grandmothers and grandmothers and parents' ideology imprinted on us for generations, all the way back. They never, if you listen to older people, it's not going away.
mm-hmm.
And so it's up. It's up to us to change the narrative. People like us and just kind of making it bigger. But this has been ingrained in us for so long. It's almost like implanted in our DNA almost. And like I read to this one video and the girl was saying like our wombs cursed, like we are cursed. We still in the wilderness wandering around. And in order to change that, the mindset gonna have to change, and we just gonna have to keep having these
You said
conversations.
the wombs is cursed.
Maybe it's the
Yeah.
mind, not the womb. Maybe the mind.
The wombs are cursed because all these abortions women are having. Their wombs are
And
sending.
look at what and look at the fruit that's produced. It's rotting a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I also think that you can't hold by holding black women or by holding black people accountable, that will force them to get out of their victim mindset and they want to remain a victim in a
Mhm.
lot of situations.
They always bring up slavery too. Like this is what happened to us, and they put us in this box to always be like this. And then when you become a person that says, "Well, now we have all the tools and resources to not have to pass down the baton of, regressing, passing down the baton of ignorance and fear." Like I think I don't want to talk bad about our grannies. I really don't. I love our grannies. They make a mean collard green, but I remember a long time ago asking Obama, what's a Democrat? What's a Republican? Because I don't know. I will never forget. Democrats are for black people. Republicans are for rich white folks. And when you first introduce that way of thinking, and you don't make sure that your children are getting the right education as they grow into out of adolescence into their adulthood, it stains on them, and it takes a long time, or should I say a lot of work, to get that stain off your brain. That's the victimhood mentality. So when
Yeah.
you do something wrong, you already have a person or an entity of some sort to blame. It'll never be look within and see what you did wrong to apply correction, but always blame someone for your choices or for your
And
own.
they're not gonna stop. You see the Al Sharptons. Have you noticed the Al Sharptons? All of them are getting older. They're all getting ready.
Shout out
God
to
forbid
Bobblehead Al.
something happen.
I love
All of
Bobblehead.
them.
I
They
think
are. They
those
creating like the Joy Reids. They just raising up more of these people to
yeah.
keep spewing this stuff.
And
So
it
no
goes
Joy
matter
Reid
how
also
hard we
look
fight.
like
And her parents are immigrants.
it goes deeper than even
Yeah,
just
but they
white people
all just
seeing that.
Man, they
Like
don't. Those people do not
I think the
care.
race hustlers are narcissists.
I
Yeah,
always find that so
Yep.
weird that the people whose parents are immigrants, like you aren't even like foundationally from here. Your parents are immigrants, but you're so much on the race stuff, like
Yeah.
Amanda Seals, Joy Reid, like Kareem Jean Pierre. Like
I'm an immigrant, and I remember
And be
when
with,
we
and
came
then
here
they
when I
be
first.
married to the people they claim to hate. They love sleeping with
oppressive white
the
men.
oppressor. Yeah.
well, the Democrat Party sold y'all a bill of goods, the whole black community, thinking they're going to help you, and all it did was push you down, separated fathers from the
yeah, that's
homes,
true.
community housing, and that's got to change.
And they did
Yeah,
not.
to be so honest. Oh,
No, go
my
ahead.
bad. My bad, Dave. Um, no, to be so honest, that DEI mess or whatever, like if you really, really think about it, like you just trying to get a hand out. Like you trying to get a leg up whenever everybody else has to walk through this particular door, and it's like, oh, you have this special door around the back and you can go there as long as you're this skin color, or this ethnic group, or LGBTQ, like then you're able to have access to more resources and more ways in. And it's
Because you're a
like,
victim.
right, and it's
Yeah,
like
but they
it
so
makes it
uninvolved that they
makes
didn't take
you
advantage of that.
right, it makes you look like you're you're not as valid as if you walked in the entrance door. Like, and I understood what Charlie was saying when he said what he said. Like, it's not that he was saying that, oh, black people are just inadequate. We know that they're, the women on Hidden Figures, those three ladies, they walked through a particular door that had nothing to do with DEI. There was no way they could be discredited, no nothing. You knew that these women meant business and they knew what the hell they were doing. Now, if you go and try to research what men are out here pioneering their way through things, we wouldn't know because of the DEI. And so that's pretty much what he was like saying. And so many people just took it as, oh, he's just running black people through the ground. That's evil, that's wicked, that's hatred. No, that's logic, sweetie.
And
There's no way for you to statistically know who's really in the trenches and getting stuff out the mud, and who's really pushing their way through with the knowledge that they have. Michelle Obama, I'm sorry, I can't trust that she's as knowledgeable as she may try to make herself seem. Or the other lady that admitted that she came through on DEI or whatever. Like, it's just not believable. But if DEI is removed, whenever it is removed, that makes it way easier for us to be seen again. And they don't understand that.
No,
right.
I mean, DEI is essentially, reverse racism. It's saying you aren't good
Mhm.
enough, or you're not smart enough, or you can't be, you know,
Well,
the same as everybody else. So
Reverse.
we have to
Yeah,
do
that's.
this
I
for
just
you,
feel
and
like
it's
I don't
reverse
think reverse
racism.
racism is just, I think it's just
I
racism.
just feel like being a black liberal is like a oxymoron. Like it just doesn't even make sense because it's just like every policy, everything they push to the community is just it holds us down. It
Hmm.
holds us back. It keeps us stagnant. It keeps us like it just keeps us in this victim mindset. It never pushes for us to do better. It pushes for us to stay on welfare, stay on unemployment, keep the fathers out the home. Nothing positive. There's
Well,
nothing
you ain't
positive.
black unless you vote for Joe Biden. Then you know.
Like
Yeah,
what was
every
that?
I can't
What
believe I
was
voted
that?
for
How are you
greatest
able to
person I ever
revoke my
seen.
race because of a white man? Like it just doesn't it just doesn't make sense. And I feel like that's why you can't hold them accountable because it'll mess with their entire worldview. Like they will crash. Like they believe the lies and they believe the okey doke so much. It's just like if you try to actually reason with them and be honest and state the facts, they
Mhm.
can't. It just doesn't. It seems like it doesn't register, and it's
And
because it doesn't. They can't fathom it. They can't. If what we're saying was to be true, their entire worldview would be shut down. They would have no sense of identity. They wouldn't know who they are. They wouldn't like. They would question everything about themselves, about the world they live in, about literally any and everything. So it's like a never ending cycle. Like it's just a never ending cycle, and it's
it's
just
like weird though. It's
it's
super
very weird.
weird because it's like they don't understand like how DEI is not allowing you to be seen individually. You are literally seen as a group, or because you're black
They
as a
see it when it
group of
comes to
people.
money though, like nepo
Right. They see
babies.
you
They'll
as a
see it that like
numbers.
that. They'll
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
it like
right,
that, but
as
they'll never see
numbers
you for the
because
skin.
they wouldn't they get like a grant or like extra money for if they meet the certain quota or whatever like
Yeah.
that. You're
Hmm.
just a number. You're not being seen. You're a number. But whenever all of that stuff didn't exist, you were able to make a way for yourself, for your name, for your family. You were able to gain respect and honor, and that carried itself down the line. But whenever they tore all that stuff up, tore our families up, it's like it just demolished all of that. But in order for us to get back to that, we need to stop saying, hey, we want y'all to give us a number. No, F the number. We need to have our real seats. Like, we really need to be looked after. Like, hey, I want Carmaya. I want Jerry. I want Aaliyah. Like, we need to be known by name, not by number. That's crazy.
And I
And
think
I'll also say this as well. If we're speaking about DEI, I know that some people are saying it in the chat as well, and I've been seeing on social media with what Charlie Kirk didn't want the Civil Rights Act. What he was saying was that there should be a one-page bill that specifically says there should be no racial discrimination or racial bias in America and is unacceptable. He said that the Civil Rights Act, which we all know to be true, was hijacked by the feminist movement, was hijacked by the LGBTQ movement, was hijacked by all of the extras,
Lumped all in.
and it
Yep.
was tied into the civil rights movement. And he said that the Civil Rights Act, in its intent, was and did have a good purpose, but as it was implemented and became into law, that it was completely changed. And that Civil Rights Act that our ancestors fought for, marched for, died for, that was supposed to be for Black people to prevent racial bias, is now being used to have LGBTQ being implemented into schools, or to
Trojan
have
horse. Yep.
biological men being allowed in women's spaces. That's the thing that he was saying. And it's like the intentionality behind misquoting someone or saying, oh, well, he said, yes, he said I don't think that the Civil Rights Act was a good idea. Immediately after, explain what he meant by that.
Right. He was specifically
They
asked to
clip
explain too, and
it
he
as
did.
soon right before he
And nobody
explains
asked,
himself
where's
in
the rest
every
of
clip.
it? Nobody does. I noticed that. It's like it doesn't dawn on you. Why did you only show me 22 seconds of a 10-minute interview?
Right.
Because
And then you send it to them, and then they have nothing to say. Oh, well, that's not what was really. It's right here in black and white. You can read the transcript if you want to. Some websites offer the transcript, or you can actually listen to what it is that he's saying. How can you disagree with that? We all know, wait, our ancestors died for this. So how do you get it? How do you get it? How is DEI supposed to help us? But it's mainly been benefiting white women.
So in theory, it's like DEI in theory sounds good, but in actual practice, you see how it
even in
And
theory,
that's what
it
I'm
don't
not
sound
understanding.
good.
How is the
It don't
racism
sound good.
rhetoric coming into play if it was really for anybody of a minority group or whatever? Like if you fall under the LGBTQ, then it's like, oh boom, DEI, or whatever else it covered. Like, and when he speaks on DEI and gives a specific example, now he's racist. But DEI, I thought you said is for white folks as well. Like, it make sense.
The logic is never consistent. It doesn't make sense. It's unreasonable. It's illogical. It would never make sense to a reasonable human being. It would never make sense. Which is why they always have to go so hard. They can't.
I
They
feel
can't
like
stick with the
that,
facts.
like the phrase "pull yourself up by your bootstraps" somehow is now seen as an insult.
Right.
Like putting in work
It's
is a
cool
problem.
to be a victim now. Yeah. It's
You
cool
know
to be
what I'm saying? Like, that's
oppressed.
kind of weird to me.
Oh no,
So I
you
feel
can't
like
accept that. You
the
can't accept
accountability
that.
part started when we as a community started accepting that it was okay to be a single mother. We started letting people get away with that. Then little boys started acting like they moms, and they would start throwing fits.
Mario,
whenever
you
somebody
talk like a
tried to
Chinese
hold them
movie.
accountable.
Your lips be moving, but then your words is different from your lips.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering what the lag was.
It
Anyway,
looks
I was
better
just
now.
saying. I think it started when we started letting single parent households become a norm, and that made little boys start acting like their mom whenever somebody would hold them accountable. It used to be like even if you grew up in a single parent household, an OG could check you on something and you would listen. But now they gonna unalive you or tell you where you can go to. And so now the OGs done step back. Can't nobody talk
No
to a young man
OGs.
no more.
Ain't no
What'd you
more
say?
OGs. Ain't no more OGs.
Yeah, and more. It's every man for themselves. And so now accountability is like a curse word.
To be so real, I was brought up in a generation where the grandmothers was still there for a small amount of time. I was like that last generation that had like the older generation of grandmothers. So I was more so raised by my grandmother. My mom, she worked a lot, and my grandmother was the one that had to check me and, hey, make sure you're doing this. Don't do that. That's not that, that ain't right. And she would be the one to lead me in the Bible and show me, these different stories and stuff. So we just don't, our generation, we just don't have it.
We're
And
disciplinarians in our structures, in our household.
yeah, we talking about gentle parenting and stuff like that. Like,
Not gonna cut it.
we got our ass whooped, okay?
Switch. You had to go pick your switch. And if you brought the skinny one, you had to go back out. And if you brought another skinny one, it was
The switch, yo. That is undefeated. My dad man, that's undefeated. You
I'm gonna
can't
get
tell me that stuff don't work.
I'm gonna get y'all final thoughts, and then I want to make sure I read super chats, and then I want y'all to be able to promote y'all channels or promote whatever it is that you got going on.
Well, let me just say this. If you don't want to be discriminated against for not getting a job because of the color of your skin, you shouldn't want to get a job because of the color of your skin, because you're told to work hard and get this education, but you're going to dismiss it and give me the job just because of something I cannot change or have an effect on. You're born Black, but you give yourself the knowledge and the skills needed for a job. So I think you should be offended if someone is dismissing your merit and giving you a step or a job just because of something that you were born with. I don't think that's right.
I don't really think that y'all really got into most of these positions based off of merit, though.
Like,
I don't know.
Like
I mean,
I
that's
said,
why it's all
numbers.
these mass layoffs. Like that's why you see 300,000 Black women losing their jobs.
you think those were DEI
Because
hires?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Loaded for sure.
Mhm.
I think that it more so had to do with it being DEI and also just them not having the right degrees or the right fields.
They
Like,
would
I
create.
think that they were saying that, white women, they're like, white women weren't losing their jobs. White women were mainly in economic and recession proof fields, whereas Black women tend to be in hospitality, customer service, things that are pretty much being taken over by AI or are able to get cut.
It was
I don't know,
positions
but that's the
specifically
OP though.
created to
but
fill a
That
quota, I think.
if it is true, then that kind of makes sense. It doesn't make it right, but I can understand the disparity with that.
I mean that's just the okie doke that they always sell us that, oh, this is for you, without necessarily setting you up for success and everything like
Temporary.
that. And then now you following along with it, oh, DI, and they keeping their jobs. And now look, 300,000 Black women without jobs because they wasn't properly qualified for the positions that they were in due to them being DEI. And it's just it's always like that. And in any field you try to think about it, it's always like that. Yeah, like
Vice president was DEI, and it came out of Joe
yep.
Biden. Now she's my first.
What's that lady named Katanji Brown
Yeah.
Jackson? She
Mhm.
was chosen because she was Black.
He
Kamala Harris
specifically
was
said
chosen
that I'm
because she
going
was
to
Black.
pick a Black female Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick a Black female vice president, and I'm going to pick a Black female Supreme Court justice.
And he lied because you couldn't even get a Black lead. It's like if you was gonna do it, at least do it. You brought a racially ambiguous looking woman just because she can use a hot comb too. Child.
But it was acceptable for Ketanji and Kamala Harris because they were both married to white men. That's the only exception. That's the only time racism doesn't exist and the white man isn't the oppressor, is if the Black woman is married to a white man.
Thank you, Jerry.
But even in that type of stereotype, I feel like Black women who marry white men see white men as an upgrade from Black men, which is why that's why you typically see liberal women with white men. They see them as an upgrade. They see them as oh, I'm now in this area of my life, and that's how they see it, and which is why they do it, and they date white men because they're inherently racist, and that's just they're inherently racist. That's why they choose to be with white men over Black men. I feel like that's a choice they make in their mind. Yes, I want to go with this white man. Like I feel like that's a choice they make. And
straight for the business. When you really look at it and you find out what these white men's background is, who their family are. Look at Candace Owens. Her husband come from money. Kamala Harris.